go into the room to see him, and they would wake him up to because he was so cute, like his dad. And so for me, with thinking about peace and silence and having that point, God speaks to us through the coming of Jesus. And that word that God speaks is peace. And so just as peace of a snoozing baby is temporary, Christmas is precisely the time when peace can be in short supply as well. There's so much expectation, so much longing and desire, and everything is wrapped up into this celebration that it can be one of the most stress-filled moments of our year. So much to do, so little time. And so high-pressure traditions that used to be fun or meaningful, they become obligations to us. And they become things that stretch us too thinly. And disappointment that so-and-so won't show up. But somehow we still find time to do this every year. To do Christmas every year, to have our family Christmas fight every year. Some traditions like that never die. What we really need is a run up to Advent and pre-Advent to Advent, so that we can get ready to get ready. For me, each Advent, there comes a point when I just need to lock myself somewhere, like light a candle, sleep, do nothing because of the busyness. And I start to take like these deep, long breaths because there's so much to do. There's so many things to worry about, all the news that we keep hearing. So maybe I light a little candle for myself and find a way to have peace even here in the chaos. And for me, carving out this place where wholeness and shalom, peace, can come over me, to settle me, to make me relax and make me just rest. Time where I can say that all of our differences can begin to dissolve and all the walls begin to fall and every justice is satisfied in the world. And the word that is used here in Hebrew, in Psalm 85, the Hebrew word for it is often translated as righteousness. And so being made right with others and before God in a natural, a moral, legal sense. And so Jesus, when we think about it, Jesus is our righteousness. Jesus is the place of new beginnings, a change of heart, a fresh forgiveness, of a new life that we live that can spring up in places that were once dry and dead, but now come alive and spring with new beginnings and new breath. And wouldn't it be nice to have that right about now for some of us, right? In the meantime, what can we do? We can practice waiting by opening ourselves up to the refreshment of God, that God rains down on us in our longing, in the midst of so much disarray and unsettledness. And maybe here, we can create more and more space for this by giving our worries over, our anxieties over, all the things to God, naming them to ourselves. And maybe today we might practice naming those to each other. We can breathe deep when those heavy things that we carry, they can be set down, or at least be shared with someone else to bear the burden together. This is a form of peace. It's not only a momentary relief from our things that we're going on every day, our struggles, but also recognition that we humans, we don't know and we can't know that it's like this for all of us, that we're all kind of going through something. And we only know that when we talk to each other. Because life is hard, but we don't have to do it alone. So Advent rolls in like a fresh breeze offering us a chance to revisit what it really means in our lives and in our spiritual journey. It's a season that nudges us to gently to remember why we believe what we believe, to pledge again the truths that we hold dear, and clear the things in our hearts that and not only in our hearts, but in our communities, the people that we're with together, for Jesus to enter in new and in a new, vibrant way. So imagine Advent as a wake-up call, a kind of a spiritual alarm clock that stirs us up to look around and see what we can rekindle in the presence of Jesus in our lives. It's a perfect time to ask ourselves, what's going on in our community? What could use a fresh look, a new way of seeing things? What have we been missing that needs to be new life into? What old patterns in ourselves can we reset? Hello? Let's embrace this. Let's embrace this urgent start as more than just a mark on a calendar, but that it would be a spark that ignites in us a new chapter in our lives together. That the good news isn't just heard, but it takes deep roots and it blossoms and it grows and it goes into action. And so here's to new beginnings and the hopeful steps that we'll take together this Advent season. And as I think about Advent, we have so many things to think about, so many things to worry about in the world right now. For us, yesterday, I think I'll have some pictures that I'll show. We participated as part of the Logan Square Ecumenical Alliance in the Posadas kind of action that we do every year. Last year, we did it at Lathrop Homes to fight for the city to finally open up those buildings that they said they were going to build or remodel 20 years ago. It's been 20 years. We have so much space there for people to live, but the city won't work on those buildings. But they sure worked on the other buildings that were for rent. Mm-hmm. And this year, we as well as with the work that we're doing with the new arrivals that are coming, we want to make sure that we know that we still have a housing issue. Housing problems here. And so we got together, we're doing a posadas. Now, normally Humboldt Park United Methodist Church brings the Mary and Jesus, and Mary and Joseph. And they're like, we can't find a Mary and Joseph. I'm like, I found some. So AJ and Rain were Mary and Joseph. Now, and I got to preach in Spanish. I think I haven't done that in a long time. As a matter of fact, some people had never heard me speak Spanish. Yes. As long as I've been here, right? And so it was just, for me, a good practice to dream about an inclusive place. The churches that were represented in Spanish, that were Spanish-speaking, are not affirming places for people like us. So it was a beautiful time that they got to see a whole group of folks coming together, young adults fighting for justice, going out into the community. And so that, to me, gave me hope in the midst of a lot of things that seem hopeless.